I live in complete confidence that the kingdom of heaven is here and now. I am prospered in everything I do, and so it is. And now we're going to have our congregational song, Take a Little Love and Pass It On.
Okay. Take a little love and pass it on. Take a little love and pass it on. And before you know it, the world will start to show it if you take a little love and pass it on. Take a little peace and pass it on. Take a little peace and pass it on. And before you know it, the world will start to show it if you take a little peace and pass it on. Take a little joy and pass it on. Take a little joy and pass it on. And before you know it, the world will start to show it if you take a little joy and pass it on. Take a little smile and pass it on. Take a little smile and pass it on. And before you know it, the world will start to show it if you take a little smile and pass it on.
Yay.
Turn around, everybody, smile.
And say hi to your neighbor.
Morning,
Greet
good
them. Good morning. Welcome. You look marvelous. Say that to your neighbor. How about that?
Announcement?
Okay, it's the time of our announcements. And reminder that Michelle Gillette has a Friday chair yoga class. It is very much fun. Nancy and I are the regulars there. And it's a blast. I mean, and it's a real stretch. You really feel like you're doing something good for your body, and we have fun. So it's $10, and it's Fridays from 10 until 11 in Chafee Hall. Yesterday, like I said, our Harry Hart Brown was a success to us. I would have liked to have seen a little more people, but it was a real success. He's an amazing, amazing actor, and he had some interesting things to share, and so just know that coming up on the 26th, we're having our barbecue. Now, how many are planning to come? I want to see every hand raised here. I'm hoping it's the 26th. And we're going to have some, and then I also wrote in here because my tongue ties whatever it is, but it is, you can come to see if you're a cornhole, whatever, great person that can do it, because I have the new toy. My other one disappeared in the rain, but I bought a new one. I haven't even taken it out of the box, and we're going to use it and christen it, and boy, are we going to become good cornhole throwers. Anybody into cornhole throwing other than me? No one raised their hands. Well, guess what? I'm going to be pushing you to do so. I'm going to be pushing you. So a reminder of the events that happen on a regular basis. At 9 a.m., we do a study of the science of mind. And we're reading the book. And as we read the book, we discuss the concepts in there. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when you open that Science of Mind book, I don't know what in the heck he was saying. And so we discuss the idea and go, oh, that's what he meant. He was on another high beam. Do you know what I mean? And so it's about breaking it down into bite-sized pieces so that we can understand it. And it's really fun. We have a good time, and it's interesting. Also, at the end of the service, we have a prayer circle. That's for anything that's on your heart and mind. That can be politics. That can be world events. That can be your own personal stuff. Just go in there, you say a word, what you want to see prayer for. And then it happens. You know, there's power in numbers, and we're knowing the truth. And Susan will be leading that today. But remember, that's right after service, after our peace song. We want to thank all the volunteers, which is, if you're a volunteer, raise your hand. That's everybody in the room, just so you know. That's everyone. So we want to thank you because we're all making a difference. This place is growing. This community is growing. We're having all kinds of new people coming out. We've got a new gal in the back that stopped by. That's also a musician, so make sure to say hi to her. Her name is Kathy, and just make sure to say hi to her and say, hey, welcome. And we've got other folks coming too. We met some new people yesterday that said, we didn't even know you existed here. So that's kind of a fun thing to say, all right, they'll be coming back. And Naomi is our chef of the day. And it is green salad, chili mac, and chocolate cake with strawberry ice cream. So that's really good. And now we have a special announcement that's going to be presented to you by Lane. I almost called you Reverend Laney, by Laney. And there you go. And it's, look at you wearing your peace sign. Isn't that beautiful? What a cute outfit. Say hi, Laney. Okay, it's number 4. Okay.
Okay, most of you know I'm the chair of the court council, and I just want to say that the court council's responsibility is a fiduciary responsibility for the finances of the church, and that we are good stewards in how we manage things and handle things. So, we just want to keep you apprised of what's going on with our business operations. 2 weeks ago, we were notified that our current insurance company is dropping our property coverage because has deemed, we are surprised, we are located in a fire risk area. So we're working with an insurance broker to secure coverage. We have been told to expect an increase of between $8,000 and $10,000 annually, which is quite a jump. And also, Reverend Jerry will no longer be paying rent after next month. These costs will have a big impact on the church's ability to meet its financial responsibilities, and subsequently, we will be making cutbacks in an attempt to deal with added expenses. We will continue to keep you up to date on the church operations. We're going to hold a guided visualization on August 3rd. I'm going to lead that, and it's for the church, but it's also for you who participate in it, because your energy is important to the church, your input is important to the church, and we all want to be balancing that same energy that is healthy and prosperous for ourselves and consequently for the church, because we're all one in this together. The focus will be on seeing the success, expansion, and prosperous growth of our center. All are welcome and encouraged to be a part of this powerful meditation. It's really important, you know, those of you that have been here for a long time, I just want to remind you that this church has been open for a long time. We've made it through COVID, where other churches closed. And part of that, a real important part of that, is because you've been here. You've supported us. I don't care if there's been 4 people or 10 people during COVID. You've been here, and we want to keep the church going.
What time's the meditation?
After service, after lunch.
You're talking about the August 3rd one?
Yes.
The August 3rd one, we haven't got the date yet, the time yet. It's the 3rd, I think that's Sunday.
It is a Sunday. It's probably after lunch.
Yeah, and I'm pondering maybe to do it on a Saturday, because it takes some time to do it. We have church and we have that, and take up the whole day. So we'll keep you informed of what's going to happen with it. Anyway, this church I know is important to all of you because you show up. So we need your support emotionally, energetically, financially, however you can, to keep the doors open. We've done it before, and we can do it again. We can be a little church that could. And Reverend Mary has high expectations and ambitions for all the seats to be filled. And she's made great improvements around the property. So we just want to keep that energy going. And with these new added expenses coming up, it's like, whoa, that kind of hit us with a curveball, but we got to meet the obligation. So together, collectively, we can know that we can do it. We can do it. So,
Lainey, I have a question. Have you contacted, if there's such a thing, the Unity head office? To
Yes,
say,
yes, we have.
Can you have?
Yes, we
someone
have.
here
We've done that.
in
Yes.
progress?
I'll keep you apprised of that, okay? Yes, we have.
Now, what about that church in Altadena that we donate to? Did that burn down, or they just had parishioners that burned down?
No, they had parishioners that burned down, and now that you brought that up, we're going to shift that. And right now, as we know, there was the huge event that happened in Texas. I heard about a church that was by Mystic Camp or Camp Mystic, and they were kind of single-handedly trying to help the different families financially and stuff. So I thought, you know what, we can shift our giving to that, and I'm going to contact that church as soon as I can. I heard about it when I was in the car on the radio, and they said, we're asking anybody if you can help with donations. So I said, oh boy, I'll find out, and that's what we'll do. We'll shift. But the folks at a high center had about 27 people that were affected and lost their homes and belongings or partial in that center. And that's why we
Well,
were.
what I was thinking, if there's some church that isn't standing because it got burned down, can't they come here?
Well, that's our hope to.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
have
there's some
another
churches
grant.
that burned down that don't have a place to go, why can't they come here?
Well, why not?
Yeah, let's put that out.
There you go.
I don't know how to do it, I'm not on Facebook.
Oh, you're a good talker.
That's about it.
People you meet. Now, the universe is magical, it's strange sometimes, but it always comes through. You could be standing in a grocery store line, and strike a conversation with somebody that leads you to something, that brings it back to what you need, what the church needs.
Mm-hmm.
So you just stay open and receptive to receive any benefits, any good things from the universe, because it's all there. We just gotta connect to it.
Right.
We just gotta connect to it.
Okay.
So that's my story.
Thank you.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you. This too shall pass. That's what I say. And now we're going to have
Okay.
our song.
And so it is, okay? So please join me in singing, And So It Is. The words might even be on the back. God is all there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know it is, and I receive as I believe. Amen. 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 So now we have an invocation. Let's just sit back and relax and
Speak into the
close your eyes if you'd like. And let us pray. Let's take this moment and take a nice deep breath so that we are centered and relaxed in our bodies. And as we sit here and notice our bodies, if there's any tension, we can just breathe into that tension and release it. For as we sing, God is all there is. We are that beautiful expression of God. In God, there is no tension, there is no illness, there is no pain, there is no weakness of any sort. And we claim that power for ourselves as well, so that we know that our body is a magnificent working organism that God has given us, and it runs beautifully for us. We know in this moment that all our relationships that we have are loving, warm, healthy, and tender, wonderful experiences. We are prospering. We are prospering as individuals, and this church center is prospering in the love and the abundance that the universe has to offer. We open our arms to this prosperity, for it shows up in so many ways. We have magnificent volunteers who everyone here who helps in one way or another. And that is a beautiful, loving, giving thing that you offer. We open our hearts and our minds knowing that God has more good for us and for our center right around the corner. It's there for us. We claim it. We know it. We believe it is here and now. So we know that there are more gifts that the universe is ready to give us, and we are grateful. And as we give thanksgiving for all the good we have received and all the good that is coming our way, we can release these words into that divine law of creative mind, knowing that God is acting in all our lives and the life of this church, and we will find fulfillment. So let us all join together and affirm, and so it is. Amen. And a little Ernest Holmes.
Yes.
So as Mary's talk is about food for thought, I found, well, Ernest Holmes' book has got tons of stuff on thought, but here's a little bit for us. This is the simple meaning of true metaphysical teaching, the study of life and the nature of the law, governed and directed by thought. Always conscious that we live in a spiritual universe, that God is in, through, around, and for us. There is nothing supernatural about the study of life from the metaphysical viewpoint. That which today seems to us supernatural, after it is thoroughly understood, will be found spontaneously natural. So, we just know that our lives are directed by our thoughts. And when we read this in the morning, we get a little more information on that and how it works for ourselves and in this universe. So those who come early are getting a good little study because we've got a nice conversation in the morning. So just know that our thoughts create our lives, and we can create great lives, we can create so-so lives, or magnificent lives. And just know that you are magnificent and your thoughts are magnificent. So let them flow. Let that goodness flow. And so it is.
And now you're going to sing, right?
No,
Oh, no, it's
Cecilia's
Cecilia.
on.
That's Cecilia. I'm like, Susan's like, I'm not singing, am I? And now we welcome our guest artist, Cecilia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. Thank you, Cecilia. We're so blessed to have you here. You're so brilliant. So, food for thought. There's been plenty of food for thought in the news this week, hasn't there? And we certainly had some surprising things dropped on the center here this week that was food for thought, and the core council was certainly abuzz, trying to scramble to figure stuff out. But this teaching reminds us that we all have a destiny and that we all have a purpose. And that purpose is to express our greatness. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm hoping that you woke up and said, ta-da! I am great, I am abundant, I am the life of God expressing, and all is good, and look out, world, here I come. And if you didn't say that, go back to bed and start over, okay? And I don't want to see a mass exodus, because I'm sure you did it already. So the idea is just to recognize, you know what? This is not about hard stuff. This is about expressing our light, expressing our love, expressing our beingness. When we talk about food, we think about nourishing our body. So when I talk about food for thought, it's what thoughts are nourishing our body, what thoughts are bringing about the optimal way that we can live versus holding us back. You know how it is when they always say never eat a meal when you're thinking a negative thought or if you're watching the terrible news, because you're taking it into your body, you're ingesting it. And it's the same with, you know what, you want to be in the sense of lightness and being. And we know when you get an upset stomach and you go, God, something didn't sit well with me, it was like, what were you thinking about while you were eating? It's very important because we're all energy, right? We talked last week about good vibrations. We're all energy, we're always putting it out. We're always realizing either our good or our not good, okay? So it's that, where am I focusing my energy? What am I feeding myself with thoughts? Now that does not mean that we live in denial. It doesn't mean that we don't realize, something happened in Texas or whatever's going on in the world. It doesn't mean that, but it means, guess what? I don't start to awfulize. I start to know that there is a solution and that there is a truth and that there is a way that things work out, okay? And that's what this is about. Your feelings are indicators whether or not you are in the vibration of what you desire or not. So remember, the way we create things, the very first thing is we have to decide what it is we want, right? And sometimes we decide what it is we want by knowing what we don't want. And that helps us kind of fine tune what we do want. But we first have to decide what it is we want. The next step is God is an I am. God is the only power, and that universal divine mind operates, functions on the desire that we have just spoken into that law, right? So the next part of that equation is we have to be in the right vibration to receive the thing that we desire. Now, if I'm eagerly anticipating something, I've got a high vibration. If I'm awfulizing, if I'm worrying, if I'm stressing, if I am feeling not so hotsy-totsy about the thing that I desire and the possibility that it will even show up, what's the energy I just put out there? Remembering that the universe always supports us at the level that we are acting, right? So it doesn't go by our thought, because boy, we can have the most genius thoughts, can't we? Oh, we can get up and say our affirmations and be fantastic. But then we may get some bad news or hear something horrible, and all of a sudden, even though I'm saying I'm whole, perfect, and complete, the world is wonderful, all is well, and by the way, I feel like crap, and that's the dichotomy that happens. So what does the universe respond to? Your energy vibration. Your energy vibration. And how do you know what your energy vibration is? By how you feel. Our feelings are our indicator of what's going on in our life. And you go, oh, well, great. I feel lousy. So what am I supposed to do about it? Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, make it go away? No, you get back into the truth. You get back into the truth. That's why we can tell the truth to ourselves when we're in lack or limitation, or when we're in ill health, or when abundance seems to have gone out the window. We can tell the truth to those situations. But the moment you give in to, uh-oh, this isn't going to happen, uh-oh, awful things on the horizon, uh-oh, Mercury goes into retrograde pretty soon, I better watch it, whatever it is, what if we just set out there? And the universe says, I love you and I support you. I support you exactly where you say, and so it is. Whatever you declare for yourself, you just say, and so it is right after it, because that's what's going to happen, right? So the quicker that we get back on board, doesn't mean, heavens, I had a week where things happened. I went, holy cow, and started to stress out. And I went, Mary, take a deep breath and realize, you know what? There's not a word of truth in that stuff. I'm either going to declare God is my source or I'm not, right? I'm either going to affirm it and know it or I'm not. Money isn't your source, your job isn't your source, your relationships aren't your source, whatever it is, God is your source. And the moment you align with that, the moment you realize I am being guided and directed by a power that has no match. God is greater than anything that we're going through, any condition that we're going through. That's why we can look at a condition and say, there's not a word of truth in that. There's not a word of truth in that. And from there, we move on. From there, we actually shift. So you get to ask yourself, am I a vibrational match for the desire that I have? Or am I a vibrational match for the belief about the desire that I have? Feel the difference? Because sometimes we may say, oh, I want a new car. Oh, I see it, I feel it, I can smell the new car, I see my hands on the thing, da-da-da-da-da. But it's impossible. There's no way I could afford that car. Forget it, right? So what's the vibrational? Is it the belief or is it the desire that you're putting all your eggs in your basket about, right? So it's about that energy. Always ask yourself, how am I being a vibrational match for the thing that I care about? What am I doing? What am I doing to create the life that I want to be in, right? How is that desire coming to me? We're not creating it by ourselves. Remember, we're always co-creators with God. We put that intention out there and the universe says, okay, I'm supporting that, and our charge is to stay that course, is to stay it. There's a story about, has anybody ever heard of William Hornaday, Dr. William Hornaday? He was a colleague and a friend and a confidant of Ernest Holmes. They worked together at Founders, which is in Los Angeles. And he turned around one day and they had outside their window, they had a meditation garden. And in the meditation garden were 3 fig trees, or ficus trees. There were 3 of them. And they were getting ready for a big event at the church. And in walks the gardener with the shovel and said, oh, Dr. Holmes, I'm here to remove the dead tree. And Holmes went, what dead tree? And he said, oh, the dead tree that's out in the meditation garden. He goes, hold on a minute, I'm going out there with you. And just as a reminder, Bill Hornaday said, I saw this with my own eyes. I witnessed this. I'm telling you, I am the witness of this. So he went out and he talked to the gardener and he said, have you been feeding this just like you've been feeding the other 2 trees? Yes, I have. Have you been doing this? Have you been doing that? And he goes, yes, I have. Yes, I have. And he goes, well, hold on a minute. So he looks at the tree and he says, not a word of truth in this that you are not doing well. He goes, what better place could you be in than this meditative garden? Look at this. This is the most ideal spot for you. And we might have been ignoring you, and maybe these 2 got on either side of you, got a little more attention, but guess what? We are knowing this truth for you, that it's all as well. He did a silent prayer, an affirmation, and he looked at the gardener. He said, don't take that tree out. It's going to be fine. God's truth, he said, that tree not only grew, it grew twice the size as the other 2 trees. So then he said, well, they said, fast forward, and they're looking at it, and they realized that the trees were overgrowing in the meditation garden. So they said, you know what, the board made a decision. Guess what? We got to relocate the trees. We got to get them out of there. There's no room in the meditation garden anymore. So they removed the trees, okay? Fast forward 45 years. Trees are doing fantastic. And then Hornaday says, you know, why are we still paying the arborist for the trees since we moved them? And they said, there's this one tree, it keeps getting sprouts and growing and branches and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, which one is it? He goes, the one in the middle. And they were all looked at each other and said, the one Ernest prayed for. That's a true story. Now think about it. What Ernest was doing was living that truth that there is power in the word that you speak when you have faith in the power of the word that you speak. That's the big difference. The belief of knowing, hey, my word doesn't come back to me void. I say something and it will absolutely create the experience that I want. But I have to trust in it. I have to believe in it. I have to know, you know what? If I'm going to say God and I are one, what does that mean? It means that the power I'm using every day is the power of God. And that happens in every situation. Look at your life for a second. Look at the things that are working. It didn't happen and it didn't work by accident. I have a friend that says, oh, I live a charmed life. I go, baloney. You live an affirmative, positive attitude mind, and that's why you've created the things. It doesn't happen by accident. So when things, I had this thing written down, and I don't know where I put it. There is only one source of well-being, which you are either allowing or not allowing. Think about that. We're either allowing it to happen or we're not allowing it. That's all it is. We're always at choice. And how do we make our choice? By our thought. And then our thought creates the feeling. If you're gonna, did you ever go to the food store and go, oh, you know, every time I go here, I said this, and I caught myself and said, not a word of truth in that. You're gonna walk down that aisle and you're gonna find every time I go to the food store, they're out of this one juice that I like. And I said, oh, they're always out of it because everybody loves it. They're going to be out of it again. I should just not take a big basket because they're not going to have it. I went, oh, Mary Morgan, you stop that right now, and you go right back in there and you say, I know that juice is on the shelf and it's perfect and it's there and it's waiting for me. So I go down there and of course it's on the top shelf, so you can't. I'm like, oh darn. Well, it's not there. I'm like, wait a minute. I said it was there. I declared it's there. It's there. I moved a couple things, and there it was in the back behind something else. Now, I couldn't reach it. I had to have somebody help me, but it was there. It's the same thing with our life. If we go out and go, oh, you know, I know I'm going to have a lousy day. The traffic's going to be awful. It's going to take me forever, da-da-da-da-da. What happens? Of course. Traffic, oh, thank you. Universe just, okay, I support you. There you go. I have driven down to Redondo Beach, and sometimes in the mornings during the week, it takes over 2 hours to get down there, and that's the truth. So this one morning I said, okay, if you're going to believe this, we're going to declare that my way is made clear before me. I go there on one Wednesday a month. I go the same time every week. I made it in under an hour and a half. And I'm like, how'd that happen? I'm like, I know how that happened. You know how it happens. We get it in here, but sometimes we don't project it out there. You feel the difference? The universe is always supporting us. And if you say that and if you know that, it's not what you do, it's who you are because of what you're made of. That God made us. We're God made. Everything is for us. The moment that we declare that. The moment that we declare that. So Ernest was a person, he lived in light. He lived in the belief that, you know what? This is a joyous, bountiful universe that is always working. It's always succeeding. And Hornaday was another man that was just phenomenal. That story, by the way, is in The Aladdin's Lamp. It's a book written by Hornaday and another Harlan Ware, or Care, I think. And it's a true story that he wrote it in there. There's power in the spoken word. There's power in the energy that we put out. There's power in our thoughts that no matter what the appearance, we can achieve whatever it is we desire, but not by thinking on that lower level. We know that thing, you know, neurosis is doing the same thing over and over in the same way and expecting different results. We can't do that. We have to just shift. It's the same with this center. We want to grow this center. We want to be financially abundant. We can't have the same thinking that we've had. We can't have the, oh, you know, we've always done it this way. Ugh, throw that out. We want to accept new things, new and greater things, things that really, really resonate with this abundance, with this prosperity, with this sense of community, with this sense of love, like spreading out all over the place, right? It's a reminder to all of us to speak our word with certainty and with joy. Live out loud. Claim your good. Absolutely claim your good every day. Did you jump out of bed and say, man, this is going to be a fabulous day? I absolutely know it. I sometimes scare my cat that way. He's like, are we getting up? Are you going to feed me? What does this mean? I'm like, we're having a fabulous day, Bo. We're having a fabulous day. Can you affirm it with me? He's like, yes, yes. Now feed me. That's how he is. Okay. So there's always love at the center of our being. Always, always at the center of our being. And that's what we need to recognize. Somewhere, somehow, we blocked our own light. That's why it didn't show up. I know that sounds kooky, and I know sometimes we don't want to admit to that. We go, no, they did this to me, they fired me, they did that traffic was crappy, whatever it is. We blocked our own light. We are in charge of our life. You're the only person driving your bus. There's nobody else driving your bus. And sometimes we want to say, oh, he drove my bus and drove me right down the road to hell. No, that's not true. We block our own light and we control our own light. Now think about it. We were born by this amazing, universal, divine mind that said, I absolutely love you. I love you. I will bring whatever it is that you desire in your life, but the requirement is you have to know what you want and you have to stick to it. And it doesn't mean we don't change horses after a while. And sometimes, you know what? We do things while we're sad. We do things while things aren't working out, because sometimes the very experience that's yucky that we're going through brings us to the realization of our light. Did you ever notice that? Those things that are blessings in disguise, right? They brought us to the experience. So you're like, oh, I can't do anything, you know, my foot hurts. Oh, I can't do anything. I don't have the money to go out. I can't do anything. I have a friend, she and her sister do all this stuff for free. They go to the Shakespeare concerts. They go to these outdoor concerts. They go to the swimming thing. They do all this different stuff. I go, how did you find that? She goes, I was determined I was going to find it. And she's like, we do everything on a shoestring. And she goes, we have a ball. We get free concert tickets. We go all this. I'm like, how are you doing this? She goes, I put myself in that path. I'm like, I love it, because that's what you do. You just put yourself in the knowing that, hey, the light of God is shining right on my path and showing me which way to go, and I'm just going to follow it. Say with me, I'm a living expression of the divine.
I am a living expression of the divine.
Now, do you feel that? Can we say that with a little more gusto? I am a living expression of the divine. Oh my goodness, now you have to look at your neighbor and say, you are a living expression of the divine. So when we release our word into that divine law, it absolutely, just let it do the work. Get your cotton picking hands off it. Let it do the work. Just go, oh, see, I knew it wasn't going to show up. I did this prayer yesterday and nothing happened. Hush, let it be. Let it be. Allow it to happen. So Sue Rubin, I don't know if any of you know her, but she is one of my mentors, a genius woman, 95 years old, still practicing, still speaking every Sunday, amazing woman. And this is what she wrote on Facebook yesterday. These days of toe dipping in the shallow waters of the divine are just not sufficient to mindfully navigate the dangers, suffering, and chaos many are experiencing here and throughout the world. We can't just pretend. You can't just come on a Sunday and hear something inspiring and then go out and crab about your neighbor or bemoan something that isn't happening to you. We got to stay the course. You can't just pretend on a Sunday and go out and do something else. It's a practice. It's a way of life. She says when we take a deeper dive into the universal divine and we take it more seriously, we'll see more changes that will transcend what currently is being materialized. See, the world events that are happening, that's you and I. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm of what's going on. So we've got to take ourselves seriously. You got disharmony in your life, clear it up. You got clutter in your life, clear it up. What we do in our own life will spread it literally. David Hawking said that there is literally a vibrational meter in the world that lifts the energy, and they registered the energy, especially like on 911, and then when everybody came together and prayed and did all this stuff, the vibration shifted the other way. There is a vibrational energy of the world. The only way to lift it is by starting in our own life, not wait for some other guy to do it or some politician to figure it out or whatever it is that we're hoping. We got to start here. We got to start now. That's where it happens. I have a couple quotes, and these would be our food for thought. I won't read them all because I have about 100, but I'm only highlighting about 3, I promise. I don't know who wrote this. The next Buddha will not take the form of a person. The next Buddha will rather take the shape of a community that practices understanding, loving kindness, a community that practices a way of conscious loving. That may be the most important thing for the Earth's survival. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to skip that one. Here's another one. Life is electric right now. Don't fall into fear-mongering or doom narratives. That's just noise to distract you from your own power. Walk like you were here and sent by God. Smile at the stranger, speak light. Move like your presence changes the rooms. Build things, chance things, help people remember who they are. This is the most pivotal, the most powerful, and the most sacred time in human history, and you are alive for it. Don't shrink, don't go numb. Get out and get lit from within, and let that light your way. Isn't that brilliant? Think about it. Sometimes you watch the news and you go right down the toilet bowl, and we don't want to do that. That's not, you say, not, you know what, I'm knowing the truth. I am one of the ones lifting the light in the world. Oops. Okay, here, in the end, this is from Jack Cornfield. In the end, the things that matter most. How well did you love? How fully did you live? How deeply did you let go? There's a big one. How deeply did you let go? And my very favorite from St. Francis of Assisi. Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take with you nothing that you received. You can only take what you have given. Think about that. You can only take what you've given. So each one of us are a light in the world. Each one of us don't realize that when we walk into a room, we make someone's life. We light someone up. We're that energy. We're walking love letters. Okay, so look at your neighbor and say, you are a walking love letter. You are a walking love letter. When did you say that to yourself last time? You're a walking love letter. That's important. And the moment you do that, see how you feel in your heart the moment you say that? Now, I don't want you to say after that, not a word of truth in that, she's a pill. No, you're a walking love letter. Each one of us are inspiring each other. You don't even realize that Naomi's inspiring us by all the love infusion that she's putting into her chili mac and her chocolate cake and her salad, right? Each one of us are putting love out there. You're a walking love letter. So please affirm with me, I am a light in this world. I am the power of spirit personified. I am God-centered and God-directed. I know this truth, and I live it right now. So look out, world. Here I come. And so it is. All righty. Okay. Thank you. And now we have our musical guest artist, Cecilia.
Okay, let's commune with God and have our conversation. And as usual, you know where to go to your favorite place. You can close your eyes.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Beautiful song. What was the name of that one? Cecilia, what was the name of your song? What was the name of the song that you...
Conversation with God.
Oh, Conversation with God. There you go. Okay, thank you so much. So we are going to now share our offertory affirmation, which is on the left-hand side of our page. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all those who give and all those who receive. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so now we're going to have I Am So Blessed. And we thank you for your generous giving and knowing that it is continually building a prospering, loving community here. Okay. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. So this is what we know right here and now. This is a great, good day. I am a divine expression of God going out into this world to splash my light all over. I am knowing good and only good comes to me, through me, and from me. And I am guided, directed, protected every step of my way. I am open and receptive to all the good in the universe, all the wisdom in the universe, all the abundance in the universe, all the beauty in the universe. And I am so grateful. And I acknowledge right here and now, I am blessed. I'm blessed in this community. I'm blessed with my friends. I am blessed with my health, with my wealth, with my intelligence, with my creativity. And I am knowing every day and every way I'm getting better and better. This is the truth of my being. And when I say ta-da, that I am totally accepting divine action in my experience, I know it to be true. And so I go out in this day and have the best day ever. And I know it to be true, and we say together, and so it is. And now we have our peace song. Oops. Let there be peace on earth now with me. Here comes Kay. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant. He thinks we're singing to him. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, so this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, now it has begun with me. I have an envelope for you from a class that you took with Reverend Beverly from a million years ago where you wrote yourself a note and were to mail it. Where we found